Here's how the media on the major cablers handled the Comey news at the top of their programs, 6 a.m. Eastern. Please roll 103.
Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted by a federal grand jury in Virginia.
Another day, another Titanic story. Former FBI Director James Comey is now the first former FBI director to face federal indictment.
One outlet dubs it Trump's revenge strike, another Trump's retribution campaign. After calling for and getting an indictment of former FBI Director James Comey, who might the president target this morning?
Do we have the Van Hollen thing, or are you still working on that?
No, they do. 201.
Yeah. Okay.
By the answer to that was John Bolton.
Yeah. So I watched a lot of cable news this morning, and last night on the plane, most of the coverage from the dominant media is not about is Jim Comey innocent or guilty. Most of the coverage is just about the concern about violations of norms. CNN's coverage and MSNBC in particular were along those lines. But I'm going to show everybody one element from both networks that, to their credit, stand out as covering this in a way, dare I say, fair and balanced. Here is this morning, Chris Van Hollen, senator from Maryland, with John Berman, who I used to work with. John asked a right question, which is, Jim Comey, a history of known public lying, on tape seeming to say he never authorized leaking when we know he did. John Berman wanted to know from the senator of Maryland, not how horrible is what Donald Trump did, but is it possible Comey's guilty? Listen to how Chris Van Hollen handled that.
What do you think of the merits of the case? A grand jury did hand up an indictment saying that they believe there was enough evidence to go forward with that maybe James Comey lied to Congress.
Well, John, the issue here is not that a former FBI director was indicted. It's how this came about. And again, you had the President of the United States essentially ordering the Attorney General to prosecute him, even though the professional
you get the point. He doesn't want to answer. He doesn't want to answer on the merits. John didn't follow. I wish he had. One more, and gentlemen, we'll get to you. Well, he did ask it. Danny Savalas, who's the legal commentator on CNN? What's that guy?
Elliot Honing.
Elliot Honing. So Danny Savalas and Elliot Honing, I give them credit. They're legal analysts on liberal channels, but they're willing to tell the truth. So, for instance, I believe both of them were skeptical of some of the charges against President Trump. And listen to Danny Savalas on Way Too Early this morning. Listen to what he says about what he refers to as the ticky-tack charge of this kind of perjury accusation. Roll that, please.
Serious charge, because I want to say right at the outset, Section 1001 false statements is not a serious charge. And I say that knowing that for many years, when folks in Trump's orbit were charged with those crimes like Roger Stone, Michael Flynn, Michael Cohen, George Papadopoulos, Rick Gates, I said it then too, even though a lot of people back then said, oh, these are very serious charges. Sorry, they're not.